Grand Rising, everybody. How you doing? A first for Behind the Curtain with Eddie and Ran. We're live on location in New York, somewhere in New York, with Suga Ray. Suga Ray, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing? Good morning.
I'm very well, thank you. Suga Ray, where are you and what's happening?
I am in Long Island City, Queens, a few blocks from Queensbridge, where I grew up. And what's happening is we're outside of my tent. I'm doing a hunger strike in the sleep-in. Today is day 6. I'm outside of the Department of Education building. It is an underutilized building, 60% underutilized. And how I know personally, because I did a tour a few years ago with the borough president, organization I'm a part of. We did a tour, and we're trying to occupy the space, man, the empty space. We want to use it for community good, studio space and creative space for artists and musicians, manufacturing space for those who build things. We want to do a rooftop farm, right? We have a huge, we're living in food apartheid in this neighborhood and a food swamp. There are tons of unhealthy food options. On the corner that I'm at, I'm on 44th Drive in Vernon Boulevard. A few blocks, 44th Drive and 21st Street, is the key food. Real fresh vegetables, fresh fruit. 41st Avenue, right, just 4 blocks up, where Queensbridge is at a supermarket where sometimes the vegetables and fruit got holes in it. It's rotting already, right? So just in a 4-block radius, there's a huge difference in the quality of food that we're getting, and so, I want to, as an activist, always advocate for my community, always fight for justice, not just of the people who are here, but to hold space for the people who have lost their lives, due to not having food, period, and due to the, unhealthy food, right? Due to the lack of quality food. It's been cold out here, right? I've been sleeping in the tent, and it was raining hard the other night, and I'm grateful. I got a mattress, I got a tent, I got tons of hand warmers, blankets. My partner slept with me, but there are tons of homeless people who slept in that same weather who had a cardboard. You know what I mean? And those of us who say we love God, those of us who say we love humanity, I just think we're not doing enough, including myself, which is why I push myself, to a more extreme action.
So, what inspired you to come up with this idea to do the hunger strike and the sit-in?
Well, 2 things. We did so it's an organization I'm a part of, Western Queens Community Land Trust. And Community Land Trust is a structure that allows organizations to take ownership of public land and use it for public good, not to make a profit, not for real estate, right?
Yeah.
And so last year, so we've been organizing for a few years. First, there was a real estate company that wanted to get the space. We organized against them. Then this is where Amazon was going to buy the space. Amazon was going to buy this exact building for $1. We organized against them, and now we want the space. Last year, we did a demonstration outside, nice rally. We had some musicians, we had some speakers, elected officials came out, and everybody spoke. But I knew that it was the same old lip service, and I told my comrades, my fellow activists, we got to start thinking about extreme measures. That was last summer, right? So nothing happened since. But last month I did a 10-day fast, just water, coconut water. And when I broke my fast, eating a blackberry, I started crying. And I was reminded of all of the millions of children and adults who, don't have the choice to stop and start eating when they want, who, when they do eat, they're not eating what they want and it's not in the comfort of their own home. And so that day last month, I meditated. I said, what more can I do? And it was like, I could do this. I could do a 14-day hunger strike, especially leading up into my birthday, right? My birthday is March 14th. And I was like, what better way to show that I'm truly grateful for life than to sacrifice, to raise awareness for others. So that was the inspiration, man, to raise awareness for these 14 different points of justice that I think could really rebalance, restabilize humanity. And then to use this building, the empty space in this building as a hub to alleviate some of those issues right here in Long Island City, Western Queens.
And so, what progress have you? Who owns the building?
City, DOE, Department of Education.
Okay. And I suppose you've approached them, or the organization has probably approached them, and no good results.
It's old news, man. We've been at this for almost 5 years, man. There's been no progress. again, the city council knows. The borough president gave us a tour of the building 3 years ago, right? So they know about it, and there's been no progress since. We know because they want to sell it to the highest bidder, right?
Yeah.
We know that. So we're just fighting, and so ultimately it's up to the mayor. And so I came out here to send a serious message to the city elected officials and to the mayor that we want this space, we need this space, and if you guys truly care about the young people in the city, if you truly care about the city period and the people, humanity in general, regardless of race, regardless of financial status, if you truly care, if you love God, if you're a servant of God, if you're a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, if you're atheist, if you just love humanity, it is the right thing to do to grant this space to us so that we can use it for public good. And so what progress we've made, I mean, just in terms of all of the people that have come out, it's been an overwhelming support of love. Bringing people together that have not previously met, activists and musicians and artists and people who are still, hustling on the streets are coming out because they're my friends. And so they're meeting different people. It's just a beautiful thing. But the councilwoman is supposed to come out today. I have her direct information. We've been texting. I spoke with Channel 4 on the phone. They're going to try to come out tomorrow to do a story. Channel 11 is going to try to come out tomorrow, sometime this week, to do a story. The article and my phone number was passed to the Chancellor of Education. So hopefully, this all happened Friday. This all happened so quick. I didn't plan this with a lot of people. I just told a few people close to me that I was doing it because I didn't want anybody to talk me out of it, to try to talk me out of it, to talk about it was cold and I should postpone it and it's not going to work. It's like, nah, Spirit said, do this action now. And so I, told a few people close to me and I did it. And great progress is happening. This is part of the progress, right? You guys knowing about it, getting the word out. The police have come out. 3 of the days the cops came. The first day they came, 8 cops. And spoke to me. Like what's going on because the security in the building called on me. But I stood my ground, right? What I'm doing is right and it's just. And they left. And they say, yo, he's not doing nothing wrong and he's fighting for a worthy cause. Leave him alone. So that's progress, right? Like it's so many small nuances of progress that we gotta account for when we take actions this big. But I believe, tomorrow the comptroller's office is coming out to give me an award. They honor me for Black History Month. So they're gonna give me the award at this location. I'm gonna talk about it with them, and I believe wholeheartedly that by the end of this week, the mayor will know about it, and hopefully he does the right thing, comes out and has the conversation with us.
Who is the mayor?
Eric Adams.
And have you heard of his responses to what you're doing?
No, I don't think he knows about it yet.
Okay. So what has been the response of people walking by? I know I heard a car hooting just a minute ago.
Yep. Yeah, man, it's crazy. I mean, it's overwhelming support. But obviously, there's a few people who are uncomfortable with a tent on the floor, right? They automatically assume I'm homeless. Yesterday, I was sitting in front of my tent, and a guy got out the car with his son, and his son was walking close to me. The guy grabbed his son and put him on the other side of him, right? The stereotype of a homeless person, they stink and they're dangerous. I got a hat over my eyes a little bit, but it's like it's love. But the majority response has been love, man. People walking by, want to know what's up. What are you doing? What's happening? Whether it's just me sitting here or obviously, friends come to sit. My mom comes to sit and we reason, we talk. Even people in the building who work in the building are coming out and they're standing in solidarity with me. They're like, yeah, it is empty space in the building and we need to do something with it.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely overwhelming support.
And how have you been dealing with the elements? Also, not eating food. I suppose you're drinking water and juices and things of that nature. But does that get to you at times?
No, just the first night I was out here, right? The first day, because as I was packing my bags, leaving my house, right? I was like, yo, I'm really crazy for going to sleep in the cold, right? But I was like, there are people who do it every day who don't have a choice of going home or staying home, right? So that first night, I didn't have long johns on, and I was pretty cold that first night, but I did it. We survived, and since then it's been pretty easy. Like I said, it rained really hard a few nights ago, but again, we got a winterized tent. I got a tarp. They bought me a tarp, so We didn't. We could hear the rain. We could feel the tent blowing a little bit because of the wind. But inside, it was nice and cozy. And again, I'm grateful, right? I'm grateful that it was nice and cozy, and I'm grateful that I have all of the love. But it makes me really freaking sad that there are people who don't have that same love and support. And there are those of us who have. There are people who brag about buying an extra house that they don't go to. There are people who brag about buying a car just to walk around it. And it's like, come on. Like, what are we really doing? Yet we say we love God. Yet we say thank you, God, for the blessings that we have. Yet we hoard so much. And it's a stark realization, you know, this action just on day 6 has revealed so much about humanity.
Yeah.
You know, we failed on our promise. We failed on our promise to the children. We failed on our promise to each other. We failed on our promise to God. But we can get it right, right? The beautiful thing is that the fact that we're still here, we have a chance to restore order and to right these wrongs and to do our best, to do as much as we can to ensure that every child has a place to call home. You know, every child has a place to eat and know that they are loved. Every human has shelter that they are safe in, right? They might not want a regular house. They might not want to pay rent. There should be space where you can set up tiny homes. You can set up tent homes. There should be spaces like that throughout our country, and there's not. You know?
Yeah. And, you know, this is something I've seen you doing for, I don't know how many years. You know, you've always been involved in the community. I've always, you know, seen you out there and the posts that you share. What inspired that? Like, where did that? Can you tell us a little bit of the beginning of that?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back. It's in my blood. You know, my dad was a reverend. You know, he passed when I was young. My granddad was a World War II veteran. He came from Kingston, Jamaica, moved to New York after the war. Since a youth, I remember being 5, 6 years old in South Jamaica, Queens, with my granddad, making sure people have food. You know, giving turkeys out on Thanksgiving, Christmas, making sure, you know, other children on the block had toys. My dad was the same way. My dad would come to pick me up. If I was with my friends, you know, outside playing basketball or whatever, he would see how many of us was there, if we could fit in the station wagon. And he would tell them go ask their parents if they could join us. So I've always, you know, had the spirit of community. At 11 years old, after my dad passed, my brother took me to the Million Man March in '95. You know, so I saw Black unity. You know, even after that, in the community center, you know, when I was a teenager, some of the elders in the community center took us on college road trips. You know, we did canned food drives. You know, we did clothing drives at 13, 14 years old. And so, it's who I am. You know, but even I would say part of what it was in '91 when Michael Jackson dropped Heal the World, that song did something to me. You know, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew it wasn't singing and dancing. But later on, I knew it was just using my love of words and communication to empower people, to inspire people, to bring people closer together. And, you know, I came out of prison in 2007 after a 3-year prison bid for a shooting. In 2008, I fully committed to changing my life. And in the same community I helped destroy, now I'm helping to rebuild 15 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. On a short visit to New York, and it's probably the same here in London, I couldn't believe the amount of homelessness that I saw. Couldn't believe it. And to see that a place that in some ways is so wealthy, has so many people who are marginalized, disenfranchised, totally outside of the system, not even recognized.
Yep. Yo, 10 blocks away, they got these luxury buildings that cost, you know, a studio is $4,500, $5,000, even more sometimes. They got empty apartments in these buildings. Like they can house people if they want to, right? It's the fact that they don't want to. And so we as a people, we can't keep blaming the government if we're complacent. It's like, what are we really doing to not only ensure that the government is doing their part, but ensure that even if they aren't, that the needs of our fellow humans are still being met? We have to do more. And it's insane, man. Like it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Like truly heartbreaking. Again, I sleep out here at night and I'm so grateful. But it makes me so freaking sad, man, that I'm fortunate and there are many others who are not. Why? What's the difference between us?
Yeah, and you know, I was having this conversation with my mom yesterday about how we can't really rely on the government anymore. You know, they're in the hands of the corporations, and it's like I live in a town where you know, I grew up in Brooklyn. Now I'm in Westchester, and in this town, like there's a lot of like wealthy people. You know, I'm in the small section of the town that's not, like, I'm in this little strip of the town. But when any little thing is going, you know, that they don't want to be going on in the town, whatever it is, they get together, they have the town meetings, and they get things done. Why is it in some of these, in some other the disenfranchised communities, that it seems more difficult for people to galvanize, to get together, and to you know, to make change? Is part of it feeling like maybe some people feel like they don't have a voice, they don't have anything when you're pushed down so much, and you know, you come to just feel discouraged, and but like, you are out there, you're showing that, you know, you can just show up as you are. You have your mind, you write, you're doing this sit-in, like there's tools that you can do to make a difference and to
100%.
fight for the things that you believe in.
100%. 100%. Nah, yeah, that's 100% accurate. You know, part of it is the loss of faith, lack of faith, right? Lack of hope, lack of vision, lack of belief that something could change. But also, one of the big things is not having space to really organize in the inner cities, you know, in the disenfranchised communities. We don't really have open space that we can just gather when we need to. Right? We gotta, right? Sometimes if we do have a community center, we have a director who's not from the neighborhood, who may not understand the importance of staying open late or opening up, you know, when it's closed, right? So that's a big part of it, is the lack of belief, but it's also just the lack of space to organize safely.
Yeah, and that's what you're trying to accomplish now, is to get that space for people to get together, to share ideas with each other, and
absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't want to go on too long, but if is there anything else that you'd like to talk about, that are any ways that we can help, or that people can help the cause?
Just be more present where you are, right? Literally, like, be more present where you are. Be more aware of those in your neighborhood, those in your family who may be struggling with a plethora of things, right? From drug addiction to sex addiction to you know, propensity to, you know, to commit acts of violence. You know, to propensity commit acts of violence against themselves and others. You know, be more compassionate. Give yourself and others more grace. You know, love each other more, love yourself more. You know, do something every day to make your life better, right? Sweeter, right? Life is to be enjoyed, yes, but life is also, we are supposed to propel it and move it forward. You know, and it's sometimes a hard balance, right? Of moving forward and fully enjoying the moment. You know, personally, I stopped drinking alcohol. I enjoyed it, but I know it wasn't moving me forward. Right? It wasn't helping me progress in any way. It was only hindering me. Although I didn't have, like, you know, I didn't have any major problems from alcohol. I didn't, you know, have blackouts. I didn't have any health issues, right, that arose yet, right? I wasn't drunk and having fights or arguments, but I just knew that it wasn't serving me. So, like, be a constant reflection of yourself. What can you do better? What can you do more? How can you be more? How can you serve humanity and God better? You know, and aside from that, man, share this post, share this video, share this interview, you know, share my article, because it's not happening just here, right? Queens, Long Island City, Queens, the issue here is going on the same in Westchester. It's the same in LA. It's the same in Detroit. It's the same in Atlanta. So, you know, it's not about me. It's about us. So connect with those in your neighborhood, those in your city, those in your town who are, you know, fighting for the freedom and liberation of oppressed people, who are fighting for justice of all people, you know, for all people. Yeah, man. And if you can, you know, if you have some dollars, obviously I'm out here for 8 more days, right? I need hand warmers and teas and waters and juices. And if you got some money, send a donation. You know, send a couple $, man, to help me out personally. But outside of me personally, like that's all I need at this time. But just do more, man. Do more.
Yeah, one thing that you said that really resonated is being present. You know, that you're talking about what I heard, talking to the individual. What we can do as individuals is to be present, to be aware, and to notice your surroundings. And like you said, it could be your family members that might be struggling, friends, people in your community, and also yourself, like paying attention to what's going on with yourself. And you use the word compassion, you know, and when you talked about eating that blackberry and crying, that's what I felt. Like I felt like there's this great compassion within you, and it's just flowing out in the actions of these things that you're doing. And then you also talked about like just being aware of maybe where some things that we have to address within ourselves, you know, some things that are not benefiting us or serving us or serving, you know, propelling us forward. And I think we had a show yesterday about astrology. So I think this is actually a good time right now, what you're doing. 100%. I mean, yeah, any time is good, but this in particular is really, really good. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because I understand astrology. I don't really study it, but my girlfriend is a master astrologist. And when I be doing actions or I be talking about what I'm about to do, she be like, yo, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Like astrologically, like that's what the trends are saying. And it's incredible how you are so in tune. Yeah, it's I feel it, you know, and I think we all do. We all have this because we are one with nature, right? We're one with God. We're not separate. And so we are literally the universe, the cosmos manifested in human form. And so anything that's happening in the universe is happening within us. And we get the signals. We all have the intuition. We get that gut feeling where our spirit is telling us to do something. What happens is most of us just don't do it because we're afraid, because we, you know, think we worry how people are going to perceive us if we take radical action, whatever that may be. You know, some of us don't even get the signal because we're intoxicated. You know, we're eating the wrong foods. Our brain is clogged. We're drinking too much alcohol, smoking too much weed, having too much sex. You know, engaging in too many. We're stimulating ourselves with too many outside sources, right? Yeah. So when the universe is giving us signals and hints to move forward in a certain direction that will propel us to live in a dream, the life that we dreamed of, we miss it because we're inundated with so much, you know, so many things. And then we continue to get mad at life and get mad at God and say, why is this person getting it and I'm not? And I'm more talented. You may be more talented. You may be smarter. You may be more educated. You may be kinder, all of those things, but you may not be more tapped in. And that's the key, right? Like go within, know yourself. That's the age-old first thing. Like knowledge of self is key, right? So to know yourself, to know where you are, where you want to go, how to get there, and when it's best to make certain moves, take certain actions is super important. And just real quick, on the 22nd, we're actually doing a podcast interview. We do a monthly vegan parlay discussion at the vegan restaurant that I'm part of. And we're doing it on how can astrology benefit your life, right?
Oh, wow. Great.
So, yeah, man. Divine alignment, synchronicity.
Yeah. And you are a vegan. That's another thing. Yes, I think, Ron, I think you're a vegan too, right? Yeah. Yeah. It's
nice.
Go ahead, Ron.
No, I'm saying what Suga Ray's doing, this radical action. There are people all around the world like Suga Ray's. Let's join together. Let's join hands. We're in different cities. We're talking now in different countries. But he showed that if one person who sees through himself that there's something he can do, they can do it. He or she can do. So, Suga Ray, what you're doing is inspirational. Thank you very much, both on a protesting sense, but also in a sense of understanding who you are. On both levels, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, and I don't know. I always love talking to you because I always feel the love and you are someone who is not afraid to feel and to show your emotions and to show your vulnerability and to be open. And it's really beautiful. And yeah, thank you for the work that you do and for the inspiration that you share with others. I'm always inspired, when I talk to you. So, I appreciate that. And
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
One more thing. If you're
Yes.
near Suga Ray today, go down there, have a chat with him, say hello, see how he's getting on. Okay, anybody out there today?
Appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.